So, Charlie, you see Willy's Wonderland?
Yeah, man, I heard it was one of Nick Cage's best films, besides Face Off.
Yeah, and Con Air,
Gone in 60 Seconds.
National Treasure. It's a pretty good one.
Snake Eyes.
The Rock. You
I
know
mean,
what?
pretty much.
Any other movie except this one. This
Right.
Thanks for visiting Willy's Wonderland. Hope you had a fantabulous time.
Go, all right. I just gotta say, man, it's like for a horror film, it
Mhm.
wasn't very scary.
No,
I can't even say very. I mean, it wasn't scary at
no.
all. And
It was more of a parody of a horror movie, if anything.
right. I was
Um,
like, dude, if they would have put Sam or Dean Winchester in that motherfucker, it probably would. They could have made this entire film one episode of Supernatural,
and it would have been awesome.
and it would have been dope as
It would
fuck.
have been way better. And you could have threw Nicolas Cage in it. For fuck's sake,
Right?
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But
But
the characters are literally like cardboard cutouts. It's like they really didn't even try on them. The only person who's worth a damn is Nicolas Cage, and
right,
maybe, and maybe the girl. And I don't even remember her name. She's right there. That
that girl.
that girl. Don't know her
You
name.
don't remember their names because it wasn't worth fucking remembering.
No,
It was just
at all.
like literally, I saw it on a subscription. And I was just like, oh man, Nick Cage. I heard it was a really one of his better movies, and so I gave it a chance, man. Even though it had like a 3.3 or some shit, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a chance. Maybe it
I,
had a 5.5. I don't fucking remember.
I wish you
But
guys could have seen the phone call of like, hey, dude, I got our next movie. Oh yeah, what you got? Willy's Wonderland. Just go watch it.
yeah, just
Just go watch it. It was shit. He knew it was shit, and he still baited me into it.
it was horrible, man. All right, look, I lost interest in the movie about 30 minutes in, right? But I
Really
stayed
early.
watching it. I stayed watching
Well,
it
it's a short
because
movie actually, but
I thought Nick Cage was going to be some badass character, which he was, but
to an
he
extent,
was a mute. I was like, bro, he didn't say one thing. He had no dialogue in the entire film. So I figured, maybe as it goes on, he's gonna say something fucking badass,
he's gonna have one of those one-liners.
Yeah,
That's
and it's just gonna save the film. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's why I watched this shit. But then no, wasn't.
no, no, it never came. It just there was never that moment. Actually, that's funny you say that, and I can't think of. I was relieved when people were dying. Like, so these group of kids behind us are the cardboard cutouts we're talking about, except for that one. The rest are basically cardboard cutouts of stereotypical horror movie characters. From the
Definitely.
beginning, like you could tell that, like this. Okay, all of these kids are gonna die. You just
I'm
kind
gonna point it out. I'm gonna point it out. So, starting from left to right behind my cousin Matt, you have the guy who's trying to get with the smart girl.
which is this
Then
guy,
you,
yeah.
yeah, then you have the guy who's
Trying to
doesn't
get dumb
really want to
girl.
do anything. He's trying to just fit in. Then you have the slutty
Oh,
interest,
this guy. Yep, slutty interest.
and then you have
The
the slutty
smartest,
interest's boyfriend.
who's the smartest character in the movie, but for some reason goes completely brain dead for titties.
Yeah, and then you have
The jock,
the jock,
the
and then you have
stereotypical douchebag jock.
the brains of the operation. It's
Don't know her name, but
she's the one that's like, I'm gonna save everybody.
this whole roster behind us, their entire purpose is to set fire to Willy's Wonderland, which just so happens to be is where Nicolas Cage is end up staying the night. He gets his flat tire, which is also one of the most interesting parts of the movie, because it's like you're introduced to Nicolas Cage. It's the very beginning. He gets hit with a speed trap, which is like
Odd.
okay, very odd, extremely odd.
And he's not even pissed.
No, he's not a sign of emotion. Which
no, he just puts it in his trunk, and it's like,
yeah, like
what?
he keeps it or something. Like
Yeah.
our running theory is that Nicolas Cage his character knew exactly what he was going in there to do, and he went to that town with a purpose, and he went there to fucking destroy some of Willy's Wonderland. That was our theory.
But the road spikes was just a hazard that he didn't incorporate into
He
his
showed a lot of
plan.
curiosity in it. And then the guy who owns Willy Wonderland, basically they set him up with a trap. So your tires are popped, you got to pay for them in cash. The ATM's broken, and there's a missing sign with a bunch of people missing on the back, which I thought was hilarious. Because why would you be posting missing posters if you're the one who are making the kids go missing? But anyway, we don't have to go too deep into that. It's just one thing that doesn't make sense at all. But no, so he has to clean Willy's Wonderland to get his car fixed.
Which he does, by the way.
That is majority of the movie, actually. He probably cleans Willy's Wonderland more than anything else. And he has an unhealthy obsession with soda.
Yes, he sure does. Really, like so bad that he's got it clocked in on his watch.
Yeah,
so
I had a theory that maybe he was autistic, because it's like, what are you? He doesn't talk to anyone.
No,
he doesn't say shit. But
no.
Every couple minutes he has to go pound a soda.
Right, and he is kind of obsessive compulsive too, because when he's wiping down the windows and the toilets, I mean everything is spotless, guys. Like this.
Which, by the way, if these creatures are knowingly coming after you and you kill one of them, you wouldn't just start cleaning up its mess. You'd start thinking about the next one. No, this dude, he kills it, breaks his head in, and then wipes his floor after making the mess, which is interesting.
No emotion, by the way.
None. No, except when he got pecked in the face by the ostrich. The ostrich
yes,
pecked him,
he was like, "You made me bleed."
And you could, pop up Ben Stiller. No one makes me bleed my own blood. And then he got real and beat the living shit out of an ostrich with a stick.
Literally rip its throat out.
Which was goofy as fuck. Like when he punches it, you could see like the neck, like how flimsy it was. It looks so bad.
But it looked like he was beating up a giant stuffed animal, man.
It looked exactly how you would imagine. And that was a hard part about this movie is like I don't feel afraid of any of these things because they don't seem dangerous. Like an ostrich with a metal beak.
But see, this is the interesting part though, is that for the kids when the kids finally make it in, they get wrecked by these fucking things, man.
Hold on, let's step back just a second because I have a problem with these kids in general. So this lady is locked up to like a heater, and this wonderful crew comes to save them. And this young gentleman right over my shoulder is why he's the smartest character in the entire fucking show. They pour gasoline all over it, and this lovely lady goes, "Hey, we got to go save that guy who's inside." And they know what's inside. It's already discussed. They know that there's demon-possessed animatronics inside. They know. So she goes, "Hey, I'm going to go in." And then lover boy over here is like, they hear a scream, they hear some stuff go down, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta get in there." So these motherfuckers look for an entrance on the roof. Okay, so they're like, "We gotta get in."
Keep in mind, the front door was boarded up with 2x4s that were rotten, and behind that was breakable glass. Just keep that in mind.
Well, and the doors were like locked. The front doors were locked shut. But we watch her go to a window with rotted wood and glass. You could easily break in and get it. But and the building is so shitty, the roof caved in.
Which tells you a lot about what they could have did with the fucking doors.
Right. Now, this is my favorite part of the movie, actually, is when they fall through the roof. They immediately go, "We need to find a way out."
It's right above you. There's your way out.
You just fucking fell in it. You made your entrance. Your entrance is right the fuck there.
Oh man, and they didn't mention that at all. Like we got to get out the front door. It's like, oh my god,
and
man.
None of them. And by the way, this guy, what I was trying to say is, he was the only one who was going, "Y'all are fucking crazy. We shouldn't go in. No, let the guy die. I don't care. We need to leave. Y'all are nuts." And he's preaching and preaching and preaching how insane this is that they're going inside. And as soon as they get inside, he takes his little boo over here, and they go into a little room and start doing their thing. Now, you can already guess what the fuck happens. But the one guy saying, "Hey, we can't go in there. Demons are in there. They're gonna kill us." And as soon as he gets in there, he goes, "I kind of want to bang my girlfriend."
Yeah, we got to fuck up in here, man.
Which is the stereotypical thing, of course. Which would be fine if they didn't know that demons were in there.
Right.
But they know.
It's the whole concept of stupidity. Right. You know, it's like,
which is why I say this is a parody. It feels like a parody.
It was his worst movie in my opinion, man. I was like, man, fuck. And he's got some movies that were pretty low on the bucket list. You know what I'm saying? And
can't believe he's in it. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see, that guy's in it.
Yeah, but Nick Cage, I can't say, you know, he's done some other movies that were pretty horrible, but everybody knows he's in a bind right now. He's trying to make what he can. Now, the only scene in this film that I thought was even worth a damn was when he goes in, the lover boy right behind my cousin, not that guy, the white guy.
This one, the one who's in love with. Yeah, we don't know their names. I'm so happy I have this background because we do not know their names.
It wasn't worth knowing their names. Fuck, you don't even know Nicolas Cage's name in the film. He's like, he doesn't have one, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, Loverboy over here gets killed.
This level.
And by animatronic. And then Nick Cage walks in. He's got a knife. And then Loverboy's girlfriend walks in. And she's scared shitless, but she's like, oh man, Nick Cage is totally handling these things. I'm going to stick with this guy.
Right.
And then his watch goes off. And he's just like, oh shit, here, hold my knife.
Oh, he doesn't even say that. That's the best part. His body's just like, oh, soda. Here's the knife.
Yeah.
He just hands her the knife and walks out. Now, I actually have a huge problem with that scene, that was absolutely hilarious. But if you watch the cutscene, he drank 3 sodas and played 1 pinball machine before going back.
Right. Which if you watch any of the other moments where they get killed, dude, she would have been dead by now. You know?
Don't actually do this, but I want you to go and grab a 12-ounce Coke, chug it, and then immediately chug 2 more, and tell me how long that's going to take you. And then, not to mention, finish a pinball game. That chick had to be in there for like 15 minutes.
And you didn't go take a piss afterwards. Because he never takes a piss in the movie. He just chugs soda after soda after soda, and not one time does he take a piss. I'm just this motherfucker's in kidney failure?
Like, he's gonna be. Drinking all these fucking sodas like that.
I mean, is he getting dialysis 3 times a week? Because he ain't pissing at all.
He gonna fucking need it. He gonna need it. Now, dude, there's I mean, we can get into I guess the characters, the animatronics. What was your favorite fight? Because that's really what this is, dude. It's a movie where you're just like, well, when is he gonna kick their ass? And he does eventually.
The only fight scene that I genuinely thought was all right, and it's only because it was I guess you could say a fair fight, is when he fights Willy, man, because Willy is the only one that really puts a hurting on him, man, you know?
Well, Willy cracked me up. Willy has the strength of like a North American grizzly bear because he just he swipes a cop and completely rips up her torso, but then for some reason he starts like spinning Nicolas Cage around just to cut up like all of him. Like certain
parts of him, like he just gets, you know, a couple of scratch wounds on him, you know, duct tapes himself up, whatever.
And that was the only fair fight. Nicolas Cage beat the living shit out of every animatronic he came across.
Literally, there's your turtle animatronic.
Tito Turtle. Unfortunately, I don't have all the animatronics. They're actually more interesting than the cast behind me.
Yeah. So you got the turtle, and then you have the nymph. Okay,
that's the siren. She looks like Tinkerbell. Siren, yeah. Obviously a Tinkerbell ripoff. Which is just a girl running around with a mask on, by the way.
Literally, you can tell it's a girl running around with a mask.
It's not an animatronic. It's obviously a person with a mask on. But anyway.
Right. And then, you know, he's running down the hallway and he sees the turtle and the siren, and he just literally fucking punches him and knocks him out. It's like,
I forgot about that. They're like walking down the hallway, and you see 2 animatronics in the hallway, which you haven't seen up to this point. You're like, oh shit. It's about to get real, and he just decks the turtle, like, and the turtle and the other one just lets him walk by. He like shoves one and decks the other, and I was like,
"What?"
Yeah, What's going on?
They take these kids out with ease. And then it's like every time Nick Cage is in the scene, it's like, oh, all right, man, we got to go super easy on him. He's the star of the movie. We can't fuck this up, you know?
Right.
And it's like he just overpowers
Oh.
everybody.
This goddamn gorilla. This gorilla's like the second thing he fights, and he comes out this bathroom and he goes back in. And I just want to bring this up because it's one thing that pissed me off. So the gorilla writes, "It's your birthday" on the bathroom mirror that he just cleaned, and he writes, "It's your birthday in blood." It is the best font I've ever seen anyone use to write with their finger in my life. And nonetheless, this thing has a finger probably the size of my fist that's wrapped in fur. And it's spelled out, "It's your birthday" in perfect outline.
Keep in mind, nobody died at this point.
No,
So
no
where'd
one's
you
dead.
get the blood?
There's no blood, by the way. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is
Right.
the only thing in here, but we won't get into that. 'Cause
Right.
then we're going to have an hour video.
Yeah.
But, dude, it's... Yeah, so fuck that gorilla. I did like the little fight. It was so goofy and goofy. It's
All
do you
the
wanna
fights
watch,
were goofy as shit.
Yeah, do you want to watch Nicolas Cage fight stuffed animals? That's what this is. 100%.
literally.
And these people behind you are to add that they can kill people because you do not get a sense of fear at all.
No. And they're the only ones that die, except for, the other girl right there. So Nick Cage and her are the only survivors. But you see all these kids get wrecked,
Right.
and it's like, I'm just like, man, I can't believe I just wasted an hour and a half of my life. Like
I
watching
can't
this
believe
shit.
you made me waste an hour. And I can't believe we're wasting another hour and a half right now as we're
Just
speaking.
talking about this shit.
Right, and then I got to go edit this shit.
But what's interesting about the film is nothing. Nothing is interesting about
Nicolas
the film.
Cage is interesting, but not in this film.
Man. No, not in this film.
He does. There is a lure. Like I liked how they kind of made it.
Yeah.
I liked how he was a mystery. You didn't know if he was there on purpose. You didn't know if he was just a dude who liked doing donuts in his Charger or whatever car it was. And you know, he really just loved his car so much that he was unfazed about killing demon electronic. You don't know.
It was a Camaro, and it was a
was a
fucking
Camaro.
badass Camaro.
And it was nice. It was
By the
sexy.
way.
It was sexy.
Yeah.
But it's either he's super in love with this car and he'll do anything to get it back, or he's here on purpose. He planned this, and that's what it feels like. He feels like he's coming here with intent.
It feels like it's done purposely because, I mean, literally, what kind of guy walks into a place, beats the shit out of the animals, and keep in mind, when he first walked in there, he knew it moved. He literally looked back right at it and stared for a minute.
Before he even walked in, he looked up at the sign, and he did one of these little maneuvers.
Yep.
You know, where you imagine those were sunglasses. But he did literally that maneuver. He took it off and, like, eyed up the sign. They don't tell you this in the movie, but through conversation with us, we've talked about this longer than we should have. But we assume 100% that he was going in there to kill those fucking dolls from the beginning.
And the reason why I assume that is because when a group of kids fall through the fucking ceiling and tell you the origin story of these animatronic animals, which, by the way, is a pretty dope origin story. I really was like, oh man, it's kind of like Chucky, but
would have been a great supernatural episode.
You're right. It would have been a great supernatural episode, but it's like he wasn't fazed one bit about this origin story. It's like he's heard it a dozen fucking times. You know, he already knew.
And I guess we can harp on this pretty quick because we're pretty deep in now. At the end of the movie, the only survivor is this girl, and after all the craziness, she just, no words spoken, she just gets in the car with him to drive away. Now, I understand she's a loner. The cop that gets cut in half at one point is like her de facto mom. Like, it's not actually her mom.
No, she just sent her parents and her to die at one point,
and she
survived.
So maybe that's the story of Nicolas Cage. Maybe he's the guy who, like, something like that happened to him as well. No idea. But the best part about this movie is the stuff you don't know. If they told us, I think I would have just absolutely hated this movie even more. It would have been completely unbearable. However, it wasn't completely unbearable. It was okay.
No, if you're a fan of Nick Cage, and I say this with confidence, you're gonna give the movie a shot,
Right.
because you like him, and
100%.
that's exactly what I did. I gave the movie a shot. I sat through it because I really wanted to see a really dope ass line in the movie,
And this
and if you
motherfucker
didn't,
sold me, by the way. He was like, dude, there's this Nicolas Cage movie. He doesn't say a word. You gotta see it. And I was like, what? He's like, he doesn't say a word, and he kills demons. And I was like, hell yeah. Didn't know it was going to be this shit show. But, but he sold that shit. He knew exactly how to sell that shit, too.
but
It's Nicolas
at the
Cage,
end,
and he doesn't say anything. I'm like, what?
yeah,
A-list?
first movie where he doesn't say a fucking word.
Not one fucking word, dude.
Oh man,
I wonder if
but
he charged per word or something, and it was like in his contract.
it's like, hey man, we're gonna give you 20,000 for this film, but you don't have to say shit.
Yeah, dude, you just have to fight a couple dolls, and
Yeah,
that's about it.
it'll be easy 20,000, man, easy.
We
Just
can finish
and
filming in 2 days, honestly.
right. All your scenes will be done in 48 hours. No
Yeah.
problem, guy.
You just gotta
You know.
fight like 5 animatronic dolls. It's fine. 4.
Yeah,
Because they do. Oh, by the way, that's a cool a tidbit. Is they do leave Willy's Wonderland. The whole part of the lore is that people bait them there so they don't come out. So they can leave, and they do leave. And in the movie, Tito the Turtle isn't in this background, but Tito the Turtle, like, what is he, like, get on a car?
yeah. He gets on a car and he kills. He grabs the cop by the throat, throws him out of the car, and I was like,
Tito the Turtle is
what?
fucking massive, okay?
Yeah.
He's so big. How did you not know?
How did you not know? And if he wasn't on the car and he just dropped on from a tree, how did you fucking not hear it? It's just like, and then at the end of the film, they roll over Tito the Turtle. I
Fuck
do
yeah.
believe
That was funny, actually.
I do believe there is one surviving animatronic, which is the siren.
It doesn't survive because for some reason it blows itself up. So everything's
Yeah, it does.
Nicolas Cage walks out. The guys who were supposed to be trapping him and basically stealing his car show up, and he walks out.
Mechanic, which is the mechanic and Willy's Wonderland's owner, by the way.
Right, they're in cahoots, and Nicolas Cage walks out, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And they look at the trash can, they see all the dead bodies, and they're like, "It's over." Like they're genuinely relieved. They're like, "Dude, this guy just took it. We tried to kill him. He took care of our problems for us. It's finally over." And then the siren, Sam the siren, I don't know, Tinkerbell, chick with a mask on. The chick with the mask on is the only left living animatronic. And I guess she runs up and pulls like a Chucky and like clogs the muffler and explodes. And that's the end. And like she explodes back and they die in the car, which I didn't understand. I would have actually liked that there would have been like a Siren 2 or something, because that chick was probably the scariest animatronic because it was the only one that could like crawl up walls and shit.
Not just that, but she was super fast, man.
Terrifyingly fast.
She was terrifyingly fast. She was the only one that was really. If you were stuck in that building with any of them, she wouldn't be the one you want to be stuck there with.
Right. It was the most scary animatronic, and it wasn't even an animatronic. It was a girl with a mask. But
all the other ones you can clearly tell they were somebody in a costume, but it was like
except
a
the
fucking
ostrich.
mascot. Yeah, it was like a mascot costume. But when you look at the siren, you can clearly tell that it's a human body with a fucking.
You can see the skin.
Yeah, you can see the skin.
You can see like her shoulders. Like
it's
hilariously bad.
It's clear as day.
It's so bad. But I'm trying to think if we left anything out. I'm really we're not. That's
everything. We covered pretty much everything. It's
a fucking record right now, dude.
Yeah, the movie is, like I said, I think on Internet Movie Database it got like maybe a 5.5. It was, which tells you it's bad, but it's not horrible. It's slightly not that bad.
Parody slasher flick. I could see like back in my college days, like getting drunk with some homies and watching this and just cracking up.
Oh, totally, man. Sit back, smoke a doobie,
and just laugh your ass off because it's goofy. It's supposed to be scary. It's not scary.
There's not. When you sit down and watch a horror film, okay, you genuinely have this fear already. You're like, oh man, this is gonna be fucking
And
exciting. It's going to be scary.
I felt it a little
You
bit
didn't
when
have
this movie
that.
started. No. When I saw the ostrich, I was like, okay. Like,
And
like you said, okay.
yeah, like dude, I didn't have any of that. Like when he
Actually,
shows up to
when
Willy's
the
Wonderland.
siren does the backflip and disappears up the wall, that was the only moment where I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because it was with one of the kids, you know?
Right.
And you're like,
Nick
oh
wasn't
fuck,
in
she's
it,
really
yeah.
gonna, you're gonna fuck this kid up. But and it would have been, if she did succeed at that, which she doesn't, it would have been the first kid to die. And she went in there solo. So it's like, you were kind of
That
feeling
was it.
for the
She got
character,
chased by the little croc over here.
Right. And which was the one who took out the lovers, by the way, the slutty chick and your smart guy.
The only one with a brain, but
The only one with any common sense. But in all actuality, the film was, oh man, it was so
fucking
shitty.
terrible.
Sorry,
it was
it's
terrible.
terrible. It was.
I'm happy that I didn't completely waste my time because I did like watching Nicolas Cage kill these things. It was goofy as shit. It looked like a video I would have made with my friends in high school.
Dude,
and Nicolas Cage was doing it. So
right. The only good thing about the movie was Nicolas Cage. I mean, seriously, he's the only one that kept me interested. By the way, I do got to touch on this. They totally stole a line from fucking Rorschach in The Watchmen, by the way. And if you're going to do that, they totally fucked it up. And if you're going to do that, I just got to tell you, man, you couldn't do it with this film. You should have known that. Like, you should have known you couldn't do that.
Place.
Matt, tell him what the line is.
None of you seem to understand.
I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's Rorschach in prison. Some dude tries to fuck with him. He fucking burns his face in fucking hot grease. And then he launches the line, and everybody in the prison's like, oh shit.
Now, like I said, I was waiting for Nick Cage to say some badass shit, right? Had he said that line, it might have been worth fucking hearing.
I wouldn't have cared if he ripped it entirely. I wouldn't even care.
But it wasn't Nick Cage. It was the chick.
She's like, they're not locked in here with him. Or he's not locked in here with him. They're locked in here with him. Some I can't remember. It was so bad.
It was so bad, and it was so childish. I was like, man, there was like for this actress. I got to say, for this actress, dude, that could have been a line that really made her career. And
which she wasn't bad in the movie.
No, but it was like,
but that line made you want to like cuff like some tape over her mouth. It's on there.
Yeah,
Shut up,
like,
don't speak. Don't speak.
I was like,
again.
no, if this was the only line they hired you to play this role for, you fucked it up. Completely fucked it up.
I hope that was improvised and they just didn't catch it.
Right.
Then you can let it slide. But no, but on that
it was totally scripted in.
So yeah, 100%, and they fucking bailed on it. It was so bad.
Oh, it was so horrible.
So her de facto mom shows up, right, and she figures out that she's in there, so she wants to come save her, and that's when she busts out the line, and then they handcuff Nicolas Cage because they're like, no, you can't. If the creatures win, they're gonna kill it. You kind of understand it, right? They're trying to feed the animatronics to keep them away from killing civilians outside.
Mainly children, because let's give them the origin story real fast. These guys that are these animatronic animals are spirits of serial killers, pretty much. So Willy's Wonderland, the owner of Willy's, Willy, was a serial killer who killed women and children, fathers, whatever, families, and he would do it in the fun room. And
he started hiring other people who were like him.
Yeah, serial killers,
sex offenders, killers, predators, just predators in general.
Exactly. So they finally get caught. Police show up to arrest them. So they decide to do a fucking ritual. You know, if you heard of this, the movie's called Child's Play, by the way. They do a ritual, and then they get their spirits get trapped into these animatronic dolls. Child's Play, and then you fighting a bunch of animatronic dolls like Chucky. You know, it's like
it's so fucking funny because that's 100% Child's Play.
They stole the story from Child's Play, but instead of it being one guy, it's
the Chuck E. Cheese dolls. Like it's No, so she handcuffs Nicolas Cage and all that. That's when she says that, which I didn't understand anyway. That's another thing that's just stupid. Why handcuff the dude who's like single-handedly ripping them apart? But whatever. Let's say it's out of fear, and then Willy comes up and cuts her in half, and it was wonderful. And then he's like handcuffed when he starts fighting Willy, which I guess that was badass for a moment if he wasn't fighting a giant animatronic weasel.
Right.
It would have been great if it wasn't a. And dude, by the way, this thing right here, this neck is not exaggerated. It's huge. It's just a long neck, just like the ostrich. It's not intimidating.
Is he a weasel or a sloth, bro? Because he looks
a weasel, but he looks like a sloth.
Yeah. So he's just got the long neck and like the sloth hands, you know. It's like, but they call him a weasel.
He's a weasel, bro.
Yeah,
it's Willy the Weasel, bro. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
And
Give me the weasel, bro.
Let's go the weasel, bro. Spatch the weasel.
That's the weasel.
Oh my god, dude. All right, we're actually at 31 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and say let's just close this one out. But
yeah, dude, there's nothing really left to talk about it. I mean, we fucking covered everything. It wasn't much to cover, but we did it.
Like Nicolas Cage doesn't talk, walks into a demonically possessed Willy's Wonderland, kills all of them with a little help from this chick. Everyone else is fucking retarded.
Yeah, pretty much. All in a nutshell.